Welcome to the Jill on Money podcast. It's Monday, January 4th, and we are here to help you take the mystery out of your financial life. We can only do that if we hear from you. So why don't you send us an email? Ask Jill at JillOnMoney.com. Ask Jill at JillOnMoney.com. And if you are able to come on the air with us, it's even better. Just let Mark know. He'll do the rest. That's what Dwayne did. He's on the line from Illinois. Hey, Dwayne, how can we help you out?
Hi, Jill. The question I have is, I'm going to be selling my house and purchasing a new one. And if I have the cash to pay for the new one, should I pay cash for the house or should I take a mortgage?
Well, that's a good question. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. And, most importantly, when you have that question, I'm most concerned with, will you be depleting your available cash assets, especially non-retirement assets?
The house I'm going to sell for approximately $175,000.
Okay.
And I'm looking at buying a house for double that price, about $350,000.
Okay.
So, what I originally thought was I would take the $175,000 that I got from the sale of the house and use that. But then I've got about $400,000 in savings, non-retirement, that I could use, the other $175 out of that and just pay $350 cash. Or should I save that and, take a mortgage? Because the house right now is mortgage-free that I'm selling.
You kind of like that, don't you?
It's nice to be mortgage-free. My wife and I are 55, and we're going to be retiring in 10 years, so I plan to work 10 more years. So,
when you retire, will you have some other income? Will you have a pension in addition to Social Security?
Yes, I will have two pensions worth about $6,000 a month.
Will that $6,000 a month cover your needs mostly?
Yeah, I would think so. Plus Social Security, yeah. All four of those should be good. My wife's Social Security, my Social Security, and then those two pensions.
That should work for you?
Yeah, that should work for me.
Even if you have a mortgage, have you run it with the numbers if you were to assume a $175,000 mortgage?
I would plan to do a mortgage for like 15 years at the most. So I'm looking at, working for 10 more. So I'm looking at maybe the mortgage would be like 5 years. Or if I could even pay it off early, but
don't be paying off early. That defeats the purpose of our mortgage game plan. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. First of all, what you ought to do just to verify this is you should just run through and sit down with your wife and say, let's just look at what we think 10 years from now our real expenses are going to be. And then work backwards, right? Because if you find out hey, you know what? All in, it is $6,000 a month. That is all we really need. And the Social Security just pays for our fun stuff. But I think that what you really want to do is get your heads around where you will be in 10 years. Now, if you're right, and, the Social Security plus the two pensions covers most of your needs, that's great. If it doesn't, blowing through a big chunk of your cash is not a great idea, especially as you approach your retirement. I like having liquidity. So my inclination is to say, get a mortgage for the new house. And, you're putting a big chunk down, obviously, $175 down. You're putting a 50% down. And that should make you feel secure in and of itself. That's just a massive down payment, obviously. But then I would keep the cash in reserve. I'd use my cash flow to just kind of fund everything else, whether it's putting into your retirement account or building up more cash as you approach retirement. And then when you get to retirement, you reassess and decide what you guys want to do. And that way you preserve optionality. If you put all that cash down on the house right now, you don't have any choices. And I think that probably you want as many choices as you can, especially as retirement approaches. Can you live with having that mortgage if you know that you've done it for the right reason?
Absolutely.
All right, then that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
I like the options explanation. I haven't heard that, so that makes me. That's a good option. It's good to have options. because I've been reading and trying, and I go back and forth every day. Do it, don't do it. Do it, don't do it. But I like to have the cash and make those decisions later.
That's exactly right. Right. And, think about this. Life is very strange. You don't know what's going to happen between now and then. God forbid there's like some illness and you need the cash and you don't want it. Or God forbid you've like made this huge choice and the market dumps and you want to have some flexibility, whatever it is. Just remember, this is actually not a binary choice because you always will have the option of paying down that mortgage faster if things are great. If all of a sudden, oh my God, $1 million fell in my lap. So pay off your mortgage, right? But this way you preserve the ability to have that choice in the future. So that's why I like having the cash and not putting it into an illiquid asset like a house. Okay, so another listener's question satisfied. Don't you want to join in and have fun? We want more and more of your voices on the air. So if you wouldn't mind, send us an email. Ask Jill at jillonmoney.com and let us know if you want to join us. Mark will do the rest. You know the drill. Wash your hands, wear your masks, maintain your physical distancing, and try to lift someone up today. You'll feel better, and they'll feel better. We'll see you tomorrow.